who's pouring into your cup? So sometimes you got to kind of take that power back and be like, you know what? No, these 2 hours are just for me.
I grew up in a Catholic family, so all I remember going to church was I didn't feel anything.
Yeah. You have a metaphorical dragon that you need to slay.
And I tell the people around me, like, hey, this is my lifestyle, and I feel way better about it now.
And I was just watching and I was like, oh, I don't belong here anymore.
I like that moment that was like, okay, I'm not aligned in this anymore.
You take a minute to kind of observe your surroundings and what you're in, and you're like, it's okay that this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's time to move on, and it's time to want better for yourself.
Yeah. All right, welcome back to another episode of the 1% Club Podcast, a space where resilience, passion, and performance collide. I'm your host, Sean Freitas, and today's episode is going to hit home for someone who's ever had to start over. Anyone who's felt lost and had to fight their way back to themselves. Our guest today is someone whose story is raw, real, and radically empowering. Taylor Stanley, better known as Fit by Tay Online, thank you so much for coming today, and I can't wait to deep dive into this.
What a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
You've lived multiple chapters by the age of 23. What does the word resilience mean to you compared to 5 years ago?
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like I'm just starting to enter that adulthood and really coming into my own and figuring out what I like and everything like that. But as far as resilience, man, I feel like every day it's something new, and my best way I would say I'd go about it is just your attitude about everything. I try to keep a super positive attitude. That way, no matter what's going on, I could always see the brighter side of things.
And have you kind of like leaned into to fitness to kind of do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Fitness has been a huge game changer for me. It's definitely my therapy. That hour I'm in the gym, especially recently, it's like, got to turn off Instagram. The D&D goes on for sure, and it's no matter what's going on, like that's my hour and a half to 2 hours where I get to really just focus on me. Because outside of that, I'm kind of giving to everyone else.
Absolutely. I was talking to one of our customers the other day. I'm like, I used to work out from 12 to 2 and eat lunch, and I gave up like an hour of that so I could work more. And it was like the worst thing I've ever done. And it was like 4 years ago, and I have never gotten my basically my schedule back, and I really regret doing that, honestly.
Yeah, because if you look at it this way too, it's like you're pouring into every other cup, right? Whether it's for you, for your business, anything like that. Who's pouring into your cup? So sometimes you got to kind of take that power back and be like, you know what? No, these 2 hours are just for me.
Absolutely, yeah. You're right about the do not disturb though.
Yes,
because like
definitely.
it's like not like for me, it's like, oh my God, what do I have to do for work? Or you're scrolling in between every set, watching what someone else is doing, and maybe you worked out 20 minutes out of an hour.
Yeah, it's like those dopamine hits, right?
Yeah.
Where reality, it's like you're in the gym to get serotonin, not dopamine.
Absolutely. So you took a leap, left home, left a relationship, moved cities, not once but twice. Mm-hmm. What was the hardest part about choosing yourself over comfort?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm the type, people say that I wouldn't call it spiraling. I don't spiral. I like to jump ship when things are starting to feel like it's too much. But for me, like that's just what works. Especially coming into my age now, this is the first time in my life where I had something happen and I'm like, no, I'm actually gonna stay in it and figure it out for myself. Whereas before, like you said, not once or twice, I moved completely different cities because I didn't want to deal with stuff back at home. So this is the first time I would say that I really stand 10 toes down and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna figure out my life and how am I gonna adjust to the uncomfortability? That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I feel like most people don't realize that they'll just try to go somewhere else, or I'll move somewhere else, I'll go do this, I'll go do that, but they're not taking care of the inside of them.
Yeah.
So the inside of them is following them wherever that they're at. They think like, oh, let me just retire, go lay on a beach and not deal with my problems. And realistically, as you took your mind with you too. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's so important to address, like, I call it like lean into the things that are going on in your life. Like don't try to overpower them. Mm-hmm. Don't try to forget about them, but actually like lean into it so you can feel like that type of discomfort there. And I feel like that's where like all that self-growth happens.
Absolutely. I had an amazing conversation with a good friend of mine. Last couple of months have been kind of tough, and she told me, no pun intended, she's like, you have a metaphorical dragon that you need to slay. She's like, there is something going on internally where until you fix that, you're always going to be looking for change somewhere else, whether that's moving, changing jobs, career, lifestyle, anything. So for me, learning about this metaphorical dragon, what it really is just your younger self. and what your younger self truly needs in order for you to thrive.
I love that.
Yeah.
So at what point would you say that fitness evolved from a hobby to a passion? And was there like a single moment or a slow build where you realized that this is who I am?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So at 20, this was right after COVID and everything like that, I was working in oncology. I have a lot of respect for the medical field, but just the particular office I was working for was super catty, negative, and everyone just kind of felt stuck at where they were at. The nurses were horrible to me. No one liked me as a medical assistant, so I was like bottom of the barrel, and everyone else has these very, very fancy degrees and everything. And I remember my one way out, of course, was going to those HIIT classes. Shout out Cornell at Meta Fitness, because he helped me out so much, and he's the reason where I'm at where I am today. But I was doing his classes, and it was 45 minutes, and it was like simple HIIT workouts, like box jumps, walking lunges with dumbbells, stuff like that. And I just remember for that 45 minutes, I wasn't thinking about work. I wasn't thinking about those girls bullying me. It was just me. I was a little overweight too. So I definitely had made progress in the classes as well. But I just remember nothing in my life was routine up until the gym. Every single day, I'd wake up at the same time, 5 a.m. I would drive down to Calabasas from Thousand Oaks, and I would do those HIIT classes. And it was the most amazing thing for me at the time.
I'm glad you brought up the gym, because two things. One, it's funny, no one ever knows, and I have like a legitimate like performance gym here.
Right.
But two is we're getting into like the world of like health and wellness, and yes, I have all the biohacking stuff and I love it, but you can't just go and lay in things and sit in things and expect it to do what you need it to do for you. So that's why, in my opinion, like the human performance in the gym component is so important, because no one can actually do that for you. It doesn't matter, like where you're at in your fitness journey. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Like you have to put in your own effort in order to produce those results, and that's why, in my opinion, they have to go hand in hand. And I noticed that in my business like 5 years ago, when I wanted to bring the concept together. Like, this is just the concept that I made. So now that I know like it can't be separated, and it shouldn't, like it's inspired me to like really be able to help people in a different manner. Like there's the gym, and then there's the recovery. Obviously, we have a medical company here as well, but I don't think that either of them should exist without one the other.
Each other.
Yeah. And
you're creating something so amazing. Even just walking in here for the first time, I was like, what is this place?
Yeah, it's fun. Obviously, I like music a lot. I think I have more speakers at my house than I do here, but I never wanted anything to feel like a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And then I never wanted any, I just wanted to, when you walk in here, I want it to be like respected like a country club, but fun like a performance center, and not a doctor's office. If I could lump three things into one. So I just wanted to create that kind of like unique type of environment when someone walks in. So I'm glad that you felt that way.
I definitely felt that way. No, you have such a beautiful facility.
So you've worked in oncology, in nightlife, and now in a gym. How did each of those environments shape your mindset and values?
Oh my goodness. They're all so different from one another. Starting off with medical assisting, I never am going to take my health for granted. That was the one thing that definitely shaped me, even as I have a cold right now telling you about this. Bottle service, it showed me people's true colors and how people get very complacent in life and kind of feel stuck. That was an interesting time for me. I was only in there for about 4 months.
Okay.
And I kind of had this mentality where I'm like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to make my money, and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. And then meanwhile, I was also balancing another personal training job on top of that. So I'd wake up and I'd have days where I'd get off from the club at 4 a.m. and then I'd work at the gym at 7 a.m. And then those were my days. So it really taught me work ethic and just knowing that I went in with a plan and I executed it.
I think that it's, I went to UNLV for one of my degrees, and I had multiple friends that were like, we're making 3-4 times as much money working in nightlife than going to school. Some of them never finished, and this was like 10 years ago. Now obviously I think a little bit different about post-secondary education. Like there's a lot of the world left out there. But in nightlife, and I have a lot of, nightclub owners that I work with, and obviously they started as like a host, so it's kind of crazy to see them work their way up. But just I feel like you learn a lot about customer service, and you for sure learn how to hustle in like a very fast-paced environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting for me now because now at 24, I'm here, and I'm seeing in Las Vegas. But now it's completely different. Like, my mind is completely shifted from that scene. Like, I don't go on the strip, and if I do, it's to get STK, it's to get some poppy steak, So it's interesting for me just to see how I've kind of evolved from that nightlife scene as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. It's like, and I think you set like that tone in your mind. Like, I'm doing that for 4 months. I'm making some pretty good money, and then I'm gonna leave it if it doesn't align with myself.
Absolutely.
Versus you stay in that industry for 20 years, but it doesn't make you happy, and then you're trying to find yourself in your 40s.
Yeah.
Interesting
absolutely.
age thing is, I feel like in your 30s, it's like. What a wild time it is in your 30s. It's like,
right.
I thought I know everything about my life in my 20s, and now being in my 30s, I'm like, okay, a lot of stuff starts to make sense. I feel like if you really take it seriously in your 30s, like that's like those 10 years, I feel like set your life up for the rest of your life. Like both like self-reflection wise, self-growth, and like aspiration wise, because I feel like everything, you want to be exposed to things, so putting timelines on things I don't think is a great idea, but like having exposure to things and like growing and developing is like, that's the only way that we grow as a human. You can't read books all day and expect to level up. I feel like some things you just have to do and learn from, and those are really interesting things as you go through life.
I just had a similar conversation with my sister. That's so funny. So she's 36.
Okay.
And she was saying very, very similar things as you were. But I looked at her and I was like, Steph, I was like, I'm in my early 20s, and I feel like every single day it's like, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm on the right track. And then a wind blows or whatever those things are called just completely runs right all over it.
Yep.
So every day just feels like a new challenge and a new way to develop as a human.
That's awesome. Does your sister married, have kids?
She just had a son.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
so
incredible.
I have a 1.5-year-old nephew. His name's River.
Okay.
He's the most beautiful thing ever.
Where does she live?
She still lives back in Thousand Oaks in California.
Did you visit since she's had the baby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He is like the cutest thing ever. He's
That's
so
awesome.
cute.
Okay, so mental health is often overlooked in the world of aesthetics. So as someone who lives and breathes fitness, how do you keep your mind strong while sculpting the physical body?
Jesus. That is the only way. My faith with God these last 2 years has grown so much. He's my rock, Every single day I'm reminding myself that I have to pick up my cross and go to war, because this is just flesh right now, And it's like you go outside and there's so many things that want to distract you and pull your attention away from what truly matters. So I feel like he's really kept me rooted and grounded in my beliefs.
No, that's amazing. I always, when I first I grew up in a Catholic family, so all I remember going to church was on like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you pull the thing down, you get on your knees. It's very, I don't want to use the term boring, but I didn't feel anything when I was going there. I was a young child, so I remember that. And then I never went to church again until I went to college, and I think I went to Central Christian Church, and it was cool. It just felt like I was going to like a big concert, so I went there for a little bit, then I stopped, and then 2 years ago, I found City Light. Vegas, which is amazing. I know the pastor and all the guys there, so it's been incredible. And when they opened up their new place, just absolutely incredible to get the first one.
Yes.
And so that's really helped me stay on track. And then I realized something that a lot of people go to church and they're like, oh, I'm going to church next week, but they don't do anything in between the week. So it's almost like it's like they're resetting themselves every week, and you're just using church every week as like a next step. Oh, let me just get to the next week and the next week. And I remember one day the pastor gave a sermon about practicing these things daily, and when no one's around, and that really hit home for me. So I started to try to do that as much as possible.
Yeah, I was definitely that kind of Christian. I was so lukewarm. I wasn't reading my word in between weeks at all. It was almost like, okay, I know I messed up. I know I sinned. How can I make it up? oh, just go to church. When in reality, like I was kind of saying before, it's like, it's an every single day struggle. I struggle with sin. I'm no better than anyone else. But as long as you acknowledge it and you know, I was trying to tell this to my friend because they're a believer, but they're very lukewarm and they're still going out and everything like that, which is fine. They're trying to figure out their own thing. Yeah. Everyone has to live their life. But I told them, I was like, it's not that you have to, they look at it like you have to obey God, right? And that it's like this big thing, but we have such a loving God. All he wants is for you just to surrender yourself and let go of all of that anxiety, that stress, and that fear, and just open your heart up to him.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and I feel like people, like for me, like I don't really drink. I probably had 20 drinks in my whole life. Mm-hmm. So for me, I can go out to a nightclub. I'm totally fine. I drink a Red Bull, and when I feel like it's time for me to go, I just go. I'm not pressured by anyone. I'm okay. It's time to go. I'm getting tired. I want to go home. But I feel like when people don't have, I wouldn't even call that control over themselves, but it's just like I don't like to have things control me. So when I go there, it doesn't matter what's, oh man, stay a little later, or we're gonna go here. It's like, if I want to do that, I will. If not, then I'm gonna go home. And sometimes I feel like people can't place themselves in that environment if they're not in control of themselves. You know, like I have got, you know, a few friends that are recovering from alcoholism, you know, so it's been like a year plus, and you know, but they've been able to put themselves in that scenario where they can go out and have fun. And then, you know, it's with me, so I'm not pressuring them to drinking anything. And I always feel like you should have at least one friend that is like that, so you can go out and have a good time. Yeah, but because people know that about me and I disclose it to them, no one ever pressures me to do anything, you know? So I feel like I verbally say that I don't do these things just because I just don't want to. Not even because it doesn't align with me. And then it almost like takes that pressure off of yourself. Because I feel like what happens is maybe you don't want to tell someone else, hey, this is not in alignment with me. I'll still go out and have fun because it is fun, like music and stuff. But if they don't disclose that, then I feel like they feel like they're trapped when they're inside of there. They're just like looking around like, I'm uncomfortable being here. I don't do these things anymore, you know? So I feel like I call it like test the waters, like just, you know, see if you're in control and alignment with yourself, you know? And if it doesn't align with you, then by all means don't go. It's fine. But I feel like, you know, a lot of people, they're not able to do that or just have that honesty with themselves. So, you know, whoever's listening, like just be honest with yourself. Don't. If you can go to those environments, that's great. You know, we still live in a culture of entertainment, but if it doesn't align with you, then it's cool. Stay home and
plenty of other
watch
things
cartoons.
to do.
You know, it's all good. I never judge people about what they do. So you talked openly about feeling lost when you're doing bottle service. What was like the wake up call that said, I need to change where I'm at. I need to change what I'm doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of took a stand for myself. I was looking around, and kind of how you were touching on earlier, everyone was in the same exact place. They were in their later 30s, still doing the same job, still having the toxic relationships that they were. And it's kind of like I looked at them, and it's like I pitied that because they didn't know anything else. And I knew for a fact that's not what I wanted for myself. You know, eventually I'm someone who wants to be married and to have kids and live the white picket fence life, if I'm being completely honest, you know? So I just wanted more for myself, and it seems like the people I were hanging around, it was almost like a pity party, I would like to say, and I never want to pass judgment on anyone, and everyone has their own things going on, but I always wanted to be someone that could take accountability for my own actions, and as I was looking around in that industry, that's what nobody was doing. They were always pointing the finger at someone else.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that about, like, you know, you making the choice on what you want. Like, if you want that type of life and to be married and, you know, I don't want to use the term have a normal life, but and I respect that because, you know, maybe 5 years ago, I always thought that, like, anyone that worked for me or people would, hey, you know, how do you become an entrepreneur and this and I was always encouraged just to like drive and push them and do effort in them, and I said, hold on. Because it's not a perfect lifestyle. Being an entrepreneur, I feel like, it sounds funny, but I don't think an entrepreneur gets a choice to be an entrepreneur. I just think it's something that my life forced me into, honestly. And then once you're in it, it just doesn't go away. Right. So now that I understand that, I'm like, okay, like I do work 7 days a week, and that's okay. because I can pick and choose like when I want to work. So if I go on vacation and I need to work, no problem. I'll wake up, get an hour of work done. Maybe I need to do an hour of work at lunchtime, but I'm okay with that. And I tell the people around me like, hey, this is my lifestyle, and I feel way better about it now.
Yeah,
versus
absolutely.
like trying to hide it and like, you know, wait till late at night, or I'm laying on the beach and I can't relax. You know, it almost became like almost like an entrepreneur
you have to
curse.
like live in your truth, correct? And
Yes.
if this is your current life, and you have built such a beautiful facility and a career for yourself, not only are you happy with it, but it's like you are comfortable with living in this lifestyle, and you're knowing that this is what's correct for you.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's different, you know, when you're responsible for almost 40 other people. So it's like I'm worrying about what they're doing, and you know, are they okay? Are they doing things the right way? Are they doing things the wrong way? So it was a really interesting concept, and it's made me push a little bit less when someone asks me those questions. I find myself explaining to the person what they will expect as an entrepreneur. That's beyond just the, you know, financial burden or whatever it may be. It's like it does kind of take over your life. So like, what are some things to look out to make sure that that doesn't happen? And if it's happening, how to take a step back and evaluate, is this what I really want? You know? And I feel like that was just being honest with myself, and then being honest with people that were around me as well.
Yeah.
Because if not, like, you know, it'll send you into a dark time in your life.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would describe it as you would be
Kind of that burnout feeling.
constant. So you would be in a stadium of people, but feel like you're completely alone. And that's kind of the only way that I can explain it, if that makes
That's so
sense
wild
to anyone.
to say that. So I remember having a night like that when I was working in nightlife, and you know, they come out with the shows and everything, and I remember just standing there and observing my surroundings and watching everyone get like belligerent and just acting crazy, and I was just watching, and I was like, oh, I don't belong here anymore. I was like,
was that like that
anymore.
moment that was like, okay, I'm not aligned in this anymore?
Yeah, I mean, you take a minute to kind of observe your surroundings and what you're in, and you're like, it's okay that this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's time to move on, and it's time to want better for yourself.
Yeah. And you know, moving on, it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's way more uncomfortable to sit in something that is not supposed to be right for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's like,
and that's in every aspect of your life, not
Yes.
just career.
yeah, I've done that multiple times. Like, this is just not in the line with me, and the more that you sit in it, it has an exponential
worse.
effect. Yeah, it's the ball continues to roll like a snowball.
Oh, the snowball effect. Yes.
What advice would you give to someone listening who feels stuck, who knows there's more out there but doesn't know where to start?
Baby steps, you know? I think a lot of the time we think it has to be this cold turkey kind of change in life if you are feeling stuck. But if you could just take, like, let's say you missed your alarm 5 times this morning. I listened to Mel Robbins, and she had this beautiful thing where she's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I gotta get up. I started using that in every single thing in my life. If I don't want to do something, let's say there's a pile of laundry that's on that chair that we all have, you know, that we have to fold up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's fold this laundry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's finish that work task that we don't want to do. You know?
No, that's discipline. I don't say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but in my mind, I would tell people that what I like at home has to be pristinely clean.
Yeah.
Like I'm just because if not, I feel I'm already overwhelmed with business. So if I go home and stuff's out of place,
and
I'm
there's
like
clutter. And
I have like every day it's clean. And I tell myself, if you walk by it, it compiles. So it's like now I have 5 things to do in the morning versus doing 2 things when you're tired.
Yeah.
So I've like used that concept a lot in my life. I'm gonna try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's so good. I love
Mel. It'll make me laugh a little bit, you know, when you have to do all those
5, 4,
things.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
It's just like I posted a thing yesterday about how important it is for me to actually cook my own food. It wasn't just for like meal prep or losing weight or whatever, but like there's certain things I can't eat. So why would I spend the day catering to other people, catering to my business, but not respect the fact that there's certain things I can't eat, so I have to control it and I have to cook it myself at home. And so I do that. So that's why, I eat dinner sometimes at 11 o'clock at night, which is not great, but I'm cooking at 10 o'clock at night. I absolutely don't want to, but for me, that's like stuff that is going to affect my body, that I have to take seriously. So probably should start cooking at 7 p.m. instead of 10. But it was just that one thing that I'm like, this has been a non-negotiable for me this year was to do that no matter what. Yeah.
I do want to say though, for people that are feeling stuck and just compiling all of your own little mini 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s, whatever they may be, sometimes it's even in relationships. Like you have that friendship where it's like, you need to let go of. Some people think you need a cold turkey and just like block them out of your life, where I feel like if you just slowly start to show distance, it's like they kind of get the point.
Or, it's like using the align thing, like, hey, I'm sorry that what you're doing doesn't align with what I want to do. So if you want to do something else, that's cool, but that doesn't align with me. And maybe it helps the other person kind of open their eyes too. Or you just, maybe have to go your separate ways. But then it's like just it's a neutralized thing. Like, hey, that just doesn't align with me where I'm currently at, where I want to go. And then it doesn't have to feel like you just, you just cut someone off,
because that could be cold and that could
I
hurt
used
the
to
other
be
person.
like that, but that's not a good mentality to put into your head all the time. So you just, cut someone off where like maybe you or them need help or both of you need help and you can't see it at the time until some time goes by, know?
And having that like mature conversation of just like what you were saying, like we don't necessarily align anymore.
Yes.
And you're like, but I still want what's best for you.
Yes.
And I still wish you well.
That's an interesting thing you said, because only recently, like over the last year, I never wanted to. I look like I want to be in confrontation, but I don't like it, especially with work. But now I have a rule: I never let things build up.
Good.
If someone's doing something wrong, if I need to help someone with something, if I have to take care of a legal matter, whatever it may be, because that buildup causes way too much stress. So whatever it is, I'm just trying to deal with it immediately, even if it's something that I don't really like. Actually, the real funny part about being an entrepreneur is I think you spend 90% of the day taking care of problems. Unfortunately, when you start, like, I went from working in my business to working on my business. So then 90% of the day is dealing with problems, and 10% of the days when I get to be creative, which is my favorite time. Like doing the podcast, it's like that's like my free time.
Yeah, you gotta like just kind of relax. And
yes, but yeah, when you let those things build up, man, it just the stress just really starts to compile. So that's something like my non-negotiable is handled no matter what it is, whenever you need to. Yeah,
I'll be really honest. I was exactly that way. I'd let everything compile until like I literally would just burn out or explode. And I'll be really honest, like I did spiral. Like there's times where I'd have 5 million different factors kind of impacting my life, and it gets to a point where like I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get that.
Yep.
But not anymore.
Something that's kind of helped me with that is I always tell people, like, just take a breather, go outside, walk.
Yeah,
walk
get
around
grounded.
A little bit.
Put your hands on a desk and like breathe. Like really like you're alive, you're human, act like it.
Yes. Final question is, what's your current mantra or affirmation that keeps you grounded when life tries to throw you off course?
Ooh, build your confidence, free your mind.
How did you get to that? What does that mean to you?
To me, what that means is be so content with who you are as a person that you become unshakable. Know that you're kind, you help others. You're a good daughter, you're a good aunt. You're doing all the things that you need to do to love yourself so you could shine and give that to others and inspire them to do the same thing.
I love that, especially, like living in Las Vegas where like self-image is just portrayed everywhere, so it's like, I think especially in fitness, especially being a woman in fitness, I think that's like, there's always like this standard of the way that someone needs to look like they're in shape, but it's not really, that's not really the standard, I'm starting to realize that it's like, what does wellness look like? Because it's not worn on your skin, it's worn in your body and it's worn in your mind. So like, what does that look like? And then what do all three look like? And that's got me thinking a little bit on the way that I started shaping my business was like, we got to hit all three of those categories. We got to hit physical, mental, and spiritual categories because they're super important, and if you have one side going all the way off, like something is bound to rebound and happen. But it's also the way that I feel like it affects the way that, you know, people date other people, the way that people have relationships. It puts a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah.
And this always comes up in almost all of the podcasts, but it may because of that, I think a couple things happen. It makes women feel the need to be more masculine and less soft, and then men feel like they can't talk about things, so they're being overly
and man,
masculine.
isn't that the world we live in today?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, and then so that's why I'm always interested in having, you know, these deep conversations with people, because I feel like it's affecting us more than we think, and we're on the phone way more than ever. It's not just Instagram. It's like now it's AI sending you all the things that you talk and think about. It just listens to you. So now you're getting fed all these things beyond Instagram. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look is being driven by that. So I think it's really important to kind of, you know, have that awakening, and listen and feel what is supposed to be aligned for you.
And I think especially, you know, for the younger kids out there, for anyone, it's so easy to think that confidence is like, oh, well, if I get my waist snatched and I have bigger hips and, you know, I get a little Botox here and there, that's going to make me feel confident. It's like, I just want to look at them and hold them and be like, no, baby, that is not what that is. And
it's different if that's something that they truly like. Like if it's something that they truly like, by all means, go and do that. But what is the reasoning behind
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's like, also, what are you trying to hide, or what are you trying to run from? And, you know, I'm not judging anyone who does want to get that done. I mean, I work out every single day. Obviously, I want my physical appearance to show from that. But also, I feel like it would help people so much if they knew, first and foremost, if they really worked out what's in here, everything else is just going to flow naturally.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. It's just like for me with the tattoos, you know, obviously, you know, I'm much better about them now because I cared what other people thought so much, and it just, you know, I plain and simple, I just like them. So I like them, but I don't use them in a way to like weaponize my mind, being like, oh, I have to put on this type of appearance for someone else, because I let my energy do the talking before anything comes out of my mouth. And but it took me a second to get there, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's hard now. I'm changing up my whole life. Like I was always, oh, I'm the big guy, I'm the strong guy, but honestly that's not healthy. So, you know, I'm having to change that. It's kind of, you go through body dysmorphia, you go through, that's what people used to know me for. So, but I truly want to be healthy, and I want to be able to enjoy my freedom from my business, and I know that I won't be able to do that if I don't change the way that I used to be. So that is a difficult process. It's difficult for men, and it's difficult for women. Probably men just don't talk about it. But I feel like as long as you're being honest with yourself, again, anyone can look however they want to. I've got no judgment on them, but just make sure that it's aligned with yourself. If you like it, that's no problem. You don't need to justify yourself to anyone. But
I know a lot of men are going to watch that clip and resonate with that, because a woman, of course, we're emotional creatures. We're talking about this stuff all the time. But to hear that from a man, I know a lot of people resonate and appreciate what you had to say about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I always, you know, before I started my personal brand and the podcast, I was like, what was easy for me is I'm always the same. So it's always transparent for me. So I don't have to act a different way when I'm on the camera or when I'm at work or whatever. It's just like, I just want to, this is my brand, this is who I am, and who I am is my brand. I didn't make a brand for who I am. Who I am made my brand, and because of that, it's just easy. I just get to go about my day being myself, and if it doesn't align with someone, then that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to.
But you know, for people that it aligns with, that's great too. You know, so I just feel like, you know, when you start to be okay with being yourself, that's when you do a lot of powerful things that people can't see. It's like it's not reflected in a bank account, it's not reflected with cars or a house, but it's just reflected on the inside of yourself. Like self-worth is worth more than any other type of currency that you can have.
He's cooking. I love that. No, that's amazing.
Taylor, thank you for showing up with your heart open wide. Your story reminds us that there's no perfect path, just honest growth. To everyone listening, if you're navigating your own restart, let Taylor's story be proof that restart isn't a failure, it's a gift. Keep going, keep growing. You're closer than you think. Thank you so much for coming on today.